Hi guys, so the topic of this video is gonna be video editing with pictures, and I'm going to try to give some tips and some pointers when it comes to editing with pictures. These are the things that I have came across on the 2 years that I have been Vidding, and it's very possible that you will not agree with the things that I'm gonna talk about, since we are all different, but these are just things that have worked for me and some pointers that I like to follow when I edit, and hopefully you will find something useful in this video. So first of all, I want to go through a list that I have written, and these are just some tips that I think it's good to follow. So first of all, follow the beat of the song, and this goes for any kind of video. So if you edit with video clips, I think it's very good to follow the beat. The next one is to set the pictures to widescreen so it fills the whole screen. When I started Vidding, I had this problem that I didn't realize that I had to pen and crop it to widescreen for the cookie cutter effect to work on it properly, and I was just going nuts because I had no idea what I was doing wrong. So the answer was to set them to widescreen, and after that it worked like magic. My next tip would be to always move every picture in some way, because I think it makes the video flow better, but always keep the pace of the video. So don't zoom in too much on one picture and then zoom in just a little bit on the next one. I used to zoom in a lot on all of my pictures, so it was kind of hard to follow. Let the video rest every once in a while, and what I mean by this is if you, for example, have a lot of cookie cutter effects after one another, then maybe just use some pictures after that when it's set to widescreen, so you don't divide the screen into any parts, because the viewer has to rest sometimes too, because if you keep adding effects and effects, it will be hard to follow. Symmetry is good, and especially with cookie cutter effects, I like it when there is symmetry in how I divide the screen. Find similarities and parallels. I really like to do this. So for example, I like to find pictures about actresses when they wear the same colored dresses, so red dresses next to each other and then yellow dresses next to each other, but you can find any kind of similarities between pictures and then use them in your video. With cookie cutter, select pictures wisely. It's better if they go together, so for example from the same photo shoot or event or the same color scheme. Use black and white and colorful pictures to make it more versatile. Try to use high quality pictures, especially if your picture fills the whole screen. I noticed that when you fade out or fade in a picture, it looks different when you render it with the coloring on, and it looks different when you add the coloring to the rendered out video, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by this, because I know it sounds very confusing. These were some of the points that I wanted to quickly go through, and after this let's go into my project, and I'm gonna show you the examples for them. I'm also gonna show you some other examples that I haven't talked about on the list. First of all, the set it to widescreen. I know probably all of you know how to do this, but maybe someone doesn't. So to set it to widescreen, click on the event pen crop icon, then right click and then match output aspect, and then after that you can move it to the position you want it to, or you can also click on the drop down menu and then select widescreen. Alright, when you have a cookie cutter effect like this, so the screen divided into three, is to face inwards. So you can see that she looks to the right on this one, and she looks to the left in this one, and she looks right ahead in the middle one. So for example, if I change these two pictures, you can see that she's facing outwards on both of these pictures. All of these things I'm gonna go through is just my opinion, so you don't have to follow it at all. It's just my personal opinion. So for example, I like to have my pictures look inwards. I also like to use black and white, as I said, because it can make it look more versatile. So for example, only make the one in the middle black and white, or you can also make the two on the sides black and white. And as I said, symmetry is good, so I like it do this way, because I think with this way it doesn't look that good. It's always good to move the clips. For example, I made them move the left and the right one upwards and the middle one downwards. So again, it's the symmetry thing, because I changed it with these and I decided to move the one on the left and the middle downwards and this one upwards, and it's just not that good for the eyes in my opinion. And as I said, try to keep the pace, because if you move one of the clips or some of the clips too fast, it can be very noticeable and not in a good way. As you can see, the middle one was moving way too fast, not like the first and the third one. I prepared this cookie cutter effect with the screen divided into 4 equal sections. As you can see it here, this is where I have my picture facing inwards, but this picture actually was looking the other way, and I right clicked on and then left click on flip horizontal so that she looks inwards. But it only works with some pictures in my opinion, because I don't know why, but when you flip horizontal a picture, the person on the picture can look so different. So this is the facing in and this is the facing out, so it's in, out, 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 and in my opinion it looks better this way. When I have my screen divided into 4 sections, I hate to move it, but I need to move it some way. In just a second I'm gonna show you an easier way that I have been using because I was way too lazy to move 4 pictures. And what I did is render out the section where they are not moving at all, and when the rendering is done, I import it back into the project, and then this is the one that I imported back, and then I'm gonna zoom in on this one. So you could do this with a still image as well, and it's easier in my opinion. In the starlight, in the starlight. Alright, so the next one is if you have them in a cookie cutter, so the screen is divided into 2, into 3, into 6, is how they appear. What I usually do is the first one that appears is the left one, and then the middle when this finished appearing, and after the left one. But when I only have a place for 2 bits and I have 3 pictures, I usually make the middle one appear and then make the left and the right one appear at the same moment. With the symmetry thing, if you make this one appear first and these 2 right at the same time, it's just not for me, I guess. Oh yeah, the beginning transitions. What I like to use is, for example, the roll effect, the new blue motion blur roll effect. I'm gonna show you that with this, it's kind of like the push down effect but with more blur. And I use this when I move the picture itself downwards later, so it kind of gives it a push when it comes right here. So with the next one I use the opposite effect, so when it's kind of pushing up or rolling it up. And with the rolling it down, I want to show you the settings to this. So if you have it around -95, it's rolling down, and when you set it to +95, it's rolling up. So or around 95, you can see it's 94. I don't have a rule for that, but if I change the settings, so I add the rolling down to this clip that will move upwards, you will see that it rolls down but then move upwards. It doesn't look that natural, as if it would roll down and then move down later. When I have my 3 pictures and then I want to change them into other 3 pictures, I like to use the similar transitions. So for this I selected 3D blinds, but again I'm gonna change the settings to the middle one. So while this one and the right one will be top to bottom, the middle one will be bottom to top. But you can make it top to bottom, all 3 of them, or however you like it. I like it to be the same transitions or similar ones, and I did it differently right here. So it's a blind one, the first one, and then a spin, and then a wiggle, and I'm gonna show you the difference of how they look. So I'm gonna load in the first one where I used blinds. So this is what I like to use, and this is the one I don't really use when I with. So 3 completely different transitions. But if you like how this one looks, then use it. It's really your decision. There are no rules in Vidding, or I think there shouldn't be any rules when it comes to creativity and style or anything. And in this section I also changed the angle of the pictures moving. So right here, this one is still moving downwards, and what I like to do is when it changes into the next picture, it's also moving downwards like I did in the previous one, but right here I changed it, so this picture right here is going to move upwards. So I could live with that, I don't mind this, but I think for the video to flow better, if they share the same place, it's better to move in the same direction. The next one is when I don't move it up or down, because that's the easier one and that's why I use it most of the time. You can also zoom in, but if you zoom in like, I'm gonna delete this so I'll show you how I zoom in. So I just go and do this. You will see that if I do this, this picture will kind of go to the left and this one will go to the right. The middle one is okay because it's only gonna zoom in. But what I like to do is actually, when I zoom in like this, I also like to move it to the left, not to the very left, but to the picture to stay kind of in the middle. So I'm gonna show you how this one looks. So as you could see, the left one doesn't go to the left and the right one doesn't go to the right, it just stays in the middle but zooming inwards. And when I used to do this, I liked this more than the first one, but I solved this problem with just moving it up and down and then it's fine. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you is what I said about colorings and rendering your video with the coloring on or without the coloring on. So I divided the screen into 2. Video on the left is the one that I rendered out without the coloring and then adding the coloring after it, and the one on the right is when I rendered out the video with the coloring already on, so it's only 1 step while this is 2 steps. And you can see that when I fade it in, it looks different on the pictures, and it's just a matter of taste or opinion which one do you like more, because after that it will look the same when it fading in has already happened. And I'm gonna show you with the fading out, it's much more noticeable, so you can see that they look the same here because the fading out only starts right about now. So you can see on her face, I'm just gonna make it bigger so you can see that it fades out a lot more differently than the other one. So this is the rendering out with the coloring and this is the without, so 1 step, 2 steps. So if you like the look of this, then try to render out your video with the coloring on already, if your laptop can handle it. So these were some of my tips that I wanted to talk about. I know it was a little confusing and maybe a little fast or slow, or you just absolutely don't agree with anything I have said, but I just really hope that you could find something useful in this video, and I hope I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!